Robert Bowers was born August 25, 1974 in Fort St. John, BC, where his dad was competing at a rodeo. Robert started his rodeo career riding sheep when he was 3 years old and took to riding steers in the BC Rodeo Association around the age of 10. He had a successful amateur rodeo career, winning the Lakeland Rodeo Association's Junior Bull Riding Championship in 1991 and qualifying for the National High School Finals in 1992. After graduating from high school in Leduc, he went on to attend 2 U.S. colleges on full ride scholarships, 2 years at Twin Falls, Idaho, and 3 years in Bozeman, Montana, studying business management while pursuing his dream of becoming a rodeo cowboy. Having tried all the events through high school and college, Robert always wanted to be a bull rider, although bareback was a family tradition started by his dad, Bob, and carried on by Robert and his brother, Kyle. Robert joined the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association in 1993, competing in both bareback and bull riding events, and was the CPRA's top permit holder that year. In 1995, Robert finished the season in second place overall in the Canadian bull riding standings and qualified for his first Canadian Finals rodeo. But a broken riding arm 2 weeks before the finals prevented him from competing in Edmonton that year. In 1996, he won the final 2 rodeos of the season to sneak into the Canadian Finals for the second year in a row, where he split the 5th round and ended up 8th overall. But in 1997, it appeared Robert would come up short from qualifying for his 3rd consecutive Canadian Finals rodeo in the bull riding event. He finished the season in 11th place overall, 1 spot out of qualifying. But Robert got a second life when injuries to some other bull riders prevented them from competing, and Robert was able to move up and gain a spot in the Canadian Finals for the 3rd consecutive year. As champions often do, Robert took advantage of his second wind, covered 5 of 6 bulls en route to capturing the Canadian Bull Riding Championship. A month later, Robert was competing in his first National Finals rodeo in Las Vegas in bull riding. He returned to the NFR in 1998, and in September of 1999, Robert won Cody Snyder's Bull Bustin', a main event on the professional bull riders circuit, which qualified him for the PBR World Finals in Las Vegas in October. He returned to Las Vegas that December for his 3rd consecutive National Finals rodeo, split first place in the 5th round, and, like he had in his 2 previous trips to the NFR, Robert covered his last bull in round 10 and won second on the final night. In 2000, Robert won the bareback riding at the Cheyenne Frontier Days and qualified for the Canadian Finals rodeo in bareback riding, his first of 4 consecutive CFR qualifications in that event. In 2001, Robert was Rodeo Houston's top dollar winner, won the bull riding at the National Western Stock Show in Denver, and was the reserve champion of Canada in bareback riding. In 2002, Robert was a member of Team Canada at the Salt Lake City Olympics Rodeo, qualified for the Canadian Finals in both bareback and bull riding, where he was the reserve champion of Canada in the bareback riding for the 2nd consecutive year, and was the CPRA's High Point Award winner. 2004 was another big year for Robert Bowers. He won 3 events in the Professional Bull Riders Touring Pro Division in Hidalgo, Texas, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and Ardmore, Oklahoma, and qualified for the PBR Built Ford Tough World Finals in Las Vegas for the 2nd time in his career. He qualified for his final Canadian Finals rodeo in bull riding, and mid-season, Robert captured arguably the biggest single event of his career when he took home the Calgary Stampede Bull Riding Championship and the $50,000 bonus. Despite his decorated career, it wasn't easy for Robert Bowers as he suffered several injuries but still carried on. Known for his ability to adapt and ride with either hand when the need arose, Robert Bowers had a very tough mindset and learned to work through his injuries. His love of the game was second to none, and Robert Bowers represents what rodeo is all about: grit, determination, pride, talent, and modesty. Since retiring from active competition, Robert met his wife Brina at the Rodeo Cabaret in Leduc. Robert and Brina were married and now reside in British Columbia with their two small children, Brinley and Colston. Tonight we celebrate the illustrious rodeo career of Robert Bowers and welcome him as an inductee into the Canadian Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame.